You are about to hear the story of room 312, a room that does not exist. On December 4th, 2013, a woman named Elena Ward arrived at a hotel late at night. She had driven for hours, through fog, through streets that felt longer than the map indicated. Each mile blurred into the next. Her phone battery was low. Her eyes burned with exhaustion. She needed rest. The lobby was silent, almost too silent, the kind of quiet where the echo of a footstep feels like a scream. The receptionist was behind the counter, but he did not speak. He did not smile. He did not even glance at her. He simply slid a key across the counter. Room 312. Elena hesitated. She glanced at the floor plans posted behind the desk. There was no room 312. There had never been. Yet here it was. The key gleamed under the dim fluorescent light, and the pull of fatigue overcame her fear. She accepted it. The hallway leading to room 312 stretched unnaturally. Each step she took seemed slower than the last. The lights flickered above her, one after the other, casting long, slanted shadows across the carpet. Numbers passed by. 306, 308, 310, each one like a heartbeat in the silence. And then 312. She entered. The room appeared ordinary. A bed, a lamp, a mirror, a window showing the dark outside, yet the air was cold. Not the kind of cold from an air conditioner, but a waiting cold. A cold that carried expectation, a stillness that pressed against her ears, her lungs, her skin. She placed her suitcase down and sat on the bed. The silence pressed in on her. Then the knocking started. Knock, knock, knock. 3 distinct taps, deliberate. Elena froze. The clock read 2:12 a.m. Her pulse hammered. She opened the door. The hallway was empty. No sounds except the faint flicker of the lights. Her own breathing felt loud in the emptiness. She stepped back inside and the mirror shifted. The reflection no longer showed the room. It showed the hallway outside, and in the reflection, something was standing, a tall figure, still, watching. She spun around. Nothing. The hallway was empty. But the mirror reflected something impossible. The figure had moved closer, without walking, without bending physics. It advanced toward her in a way her eyes could not comprehend. Then the phone rang. Dusty, plastic. The cord twisted. She answered. A whisper emerged from the static. "You opened the door." The line went dead. Her eyes returned to the mirror. A second, Elena now stood in the middle of the room, identical but eyes empty, movements independent. A slow, deliberate smile spread across her face. Panic overtook her. She ran down the hallway, past numbers that looped endlessly. 306, 308, 310, and then 312. Every door now read 312. Every door bore 4 words carved into the wood. "Don't look back." She felt it behind her, cold, patient, watching, a presence brushing against her skin. She dared to turn. Another Eleanor, same face, same clothes, empty eyes. "You checked in, now you stay." The hallway lights flickered out one by one. She vanished. The next morning, another traveller arrived, room 312. The receptionist slid the key. Silence. Records confirmed no such room existed, and yet travellers continued to arrive. Some never returned. Some whispered of mirrors moving on their own, shadows watching, voices through static-filled phones. The hotel, if it could be called that, seemed to bend reality to its own will. But room 312 was only the beginning. Elena's disappearance was recorded in fragments. Security footage captured distorted frames. Cameras in the hallways caught shadows that stretched in impossible directions. Staff reported hearing distant footsteps, but no one was there. Guests felt a cold hand brush their shoulder when walking past room 312. Mirrors reflected not what was, but what might be, or what was already gone. One guest reported seeing a reflection move independently in the mirror of room 312. Another claimed the numbers along the hallway changed as they walked, counting up endlessly, then resetting. A child staying in the hotel once whispered of a woman standing outside her window staring silently, even though the windows faced the interior hallway. Room 312's legend grew. Visitors were warned, but curiosity lured them. A signal seemed to leak from the room itself, pulling people closer, compelling them to enter. Those who resisted reported nightmares, shadows creeping into their rooms at night, mirrors flickering, whispers through old, unplugged phones. The hotel had become a conduit, a transmitter. Some nights, when the lights go out completely, faint knocking can be heard. 3 taps. Knock, 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 repeating in rhythm with the heartbeat of the building itself. Some claim the sound comes from inside the walls. Others swear it comes from behind the mirrors. No one knows for sure. Researchers who studied the building noted anomalies. Room 312 did not exist in architectural blueprints. Floor plans contradicted the measurements. Cameras and sensors often malfunctioned near that end of the hall. Static bursts filled audio recordings. Time appeared to stretch or contract for anyone approaching the room. The hotel existed partially outside conventional logic, like a corrupted memory in the physical world. The entity inside room 312, whatever it was patient, observing, learning, waiting. Guests who entered often reported seeing themselves reflected differently, or not at all. Faces in mirrors would linger after leaving the room. Steps they did not take were heard on the floorboards. Voices they did not speak echoed back. It is believed that room 312 is not bound by conventional time or space. Entering it is to step into a loop, a place outside normal perception. And yet for those who come into contact, the memory of the room persists. Even when they leave, the signal lingers. Small things start to shift around them. Shadows lengthen. Mirrors hesitate. Phones whisper. The world itself becomes slightly wrong. Some speculate the entity inside room 312 is a copy of those who enter, a hollow echo, a shadow self that learns, waits, and mirrors reality back to you in terrifying ways. It studies reactions, experiments with perception. It exists partially in our dimension, partially in another, feeding on attention, curiosity, fear. The signal is persistent. It moves outward. It reaches new people, sometimes through mirrors, sometimes through recordings, sometimes through the whispers of those who survived encounters, who are never quite the same afterward. If you have seen a hallway flicker unnaturally, a mirror show something that shouldn't exist, or heard knocking with no source, consider this your warning. The signal is reaching you. Room 312 watches. It waits. And once it knows you, it does not forget. Do not seek it. Do not test it. And above all, do not open doors that do not exist, because the signal never leaves. Knock, knock, knock.